Join me as I dive into the ancient wisdom of Indian cultures and see if I can uncover their secrets to environmental conservation. Ancient Indians societies had a profound understanding of environmental conservation, and their practices can inspire modern sustainability efforts in a big way. They didn't just see nature as something to be used, but as something to be respected and preserved. This philosophy was woven into their daily lives, their medicine, their agriculture, and even our spiritual practices. The environmental challenges we face today are daunting. Climate change, deforestation, pollution, and loss of biodiversity are just a few of the big ones. We are struggling to find sustainable solutions. But I think we can learn a thing or two from our ancient cultures. By studying our practices, we might just find some answers to our modern problems. For instance, did you know that many ancient Indian communities had a deep understanding of sustainable agriculture? They used techniques like crop rotation and composting to maintain soil health. Understanding ancient practices can provide solutions in many areas. For example, take water conservation. Ancient Indians developed sophisticated systems for harvesting rainwater, which not only helped them collect and conserve water but also recharge groundwater. These practices can be super relevant today, especially in areas where water scarcity is a major issue. Their approach to medicine, Ayurveda, also offers some interesting insights. Ayurveda emphasizes a holistic approach to health, focusing on balancing the body, mind, and spirit. This approach naturally leads to sustainable practices like using local organic materials for medicine and minimizing waste. Ayurvedic practitioners have long understood the importance of living in harmony with nature. Ancient Indian practices like community driven forestry are another great example. Many villages had community forests that were managed and protected by the local people. This not only helped preserve biodiversity but also ensured that the forest continued to provide essential resources for the community. One of the most impactful ancient practices in India is the reverence for trees and animals. In many Indian cultures, trees are considered sacred. Their protection is seen as a moral and spiritual duty. This reverence for nature shaped their environment in a big way, leading to the preservation of many forests and wildlife habitats. The respect for all living beings is a core part of our Indian philosophy. The practice of respecting and preserving nature is still alive today. Many Indian communities continue to live in harmony with the environment using traditional practices that have been passed down through generations. Their approach to environmental conservation is holistic, recognizing that humans are not separate from nature but a part of it. In summary, ancient Indian environmental practices offer valuable lessons for today's ecological issues. Their holistic approach to nature, reflected in practices like Ayurveda, rainwater harvesting, and community driven forestry, shows that sustainability is not just about technology or policy, but also about our relationship with the natural world. If you have any thoughts on ancient practices or sustainability, I'd love to hear them in the comments. If you're interested in more videos on sustainability and conservation, be sure to check out my other videos. Discover the fascinating knowledge of ancient Indians about environmental conservation. This video explores the traditional practices and principles that ancient Indian civilizations used to live in harmony with nature. From sustainable agriculture to eco friendly architecture, we'll dwell into the innovative methods that our ancestors used to conserve natural resources and protect the environment. Learn about the ancient Indian perspective on the interconnectedness of human and environmental well being and how their wisdom can inform our modern approaches to environmental conservation. Get ready to uncover the secrets of ancient India's environmental conservation techniques and find out how they can inspire us to create a more sustainable future. Conservation methods as per the ancient Indian approach. The conservation of water and conservation of biodiversity. Conservation of water means methods include water harvesting, tanks, ponds, and dams. Conservation of biodiversity includes approaches include in situ and ex situ conservation. Ancient Indian approach to environment. In ancient India, humans and the environment were considered inseparable. Environment was part of mankind and environment is equated with nature. Vedas preached protection and worship of nature as a dharma, duty of every individual. According to Rigveda, the universe consists of five elements, that is, earth, water, air, fire, and space or sky. Hindus consider nature and humans as one, made of the same Panchabhuta, five elements. Cultural and environmental preservation. Major injunctions towards environmental preservation and conservation were prioritized in literature and culture. Courtesy towards animals in various religions and environmental degradation. Buddhism, Jainism, and Christianity preach ahimsa, that is, non violence towards animals. Jain scriptures emphasize respect for nature and the environment. The Vedas, Rigveda, Atharvaveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda are mentioned with their associations with earth, water, atmosphere, and non violence. Environmental degradation is defined as a crisis due to pollution from human activities, causing ecological damage and depletion of natural resources. Excessive exploitation of natural resources for industrial and tech development is a major cause. Environmental degradation is caused by environmental pollution affecting the environment in various ways like ecological damage, human activities, depletion of natural resources, etc. A major reason for this degradation is the excessive exploitation of natural resources for industrial and technological development. It's a direct consequence of environmental pollution due to human activities. What are the causes for environmental degradation? There are three main causes. 1. Population growth. 2. Ecological development, that is urbanization. 3. Industrial development. Now we see population growth. Increase in population leads to a multiplied effect on the increase in all requisites necessary for human existence. Second, ecological development or urbanization. Concentration of human population in a given area leads to urbanization, resulting in increasing pollution of water and air. Third one is industrial development. Modern industries contribute to environmental degradation. Next topic is the R&D programs. Research and development R&D programs contribute to pollution in various ways, but they are also essential for the socio-economic development of every country. The short notes on biomes and ecosystems. Biomes are geographical regions with specific climates and environments supporting life. Types of ecosystems aquatic and terrestrial, as classified by A.G. Tansley. Aquatic ecosystems further divided into freshwater, lentic and lotic, and marine. Terrestrial ecosystems including forest, grassland, and desert. Freshwater ecosystems include emergent and submerged plants. The ancient Indian approach to environment in brief. The Vedas considered man and environment as inseparable. The environment consists of five elements: earth, water, air, fire, and space according to the Rigveda. The Rigveda highlights the importance of nature like morning beauty, trees, plants, wildlife to the community. In ancient India, people performed yagnas to purify the air and keep the environment healthy. The history of forest management in India, specifically highlighting aspects during the medieval period and under British rule, is also important. Environmental degradation and pollution. Environmental pollution is contamination of the environment by man made substances or energy that have adverse effects on living or non living matter. This contamination interferes with human health, quality of life, or the natural functioning of ecosystems. One cause of pollution is the increase in human population. As the population doubles from time to time, the exploitation of natural resources increases more rapidly than population growth. This leads to exhaustion of valuable non renewable resources. Lack of regulation is responsible for overcrowding, noise, air pollution, and street litter affecting health. Our next topic is causes and effects of pollution. Causes of pollution. Rise in living standard. Living standards involving rise lead to more per capita transportation, energy use, industrial production, and cumulative pollution. Development of new technologies. Development of fast moving vehicles like tanks, supersonic jets, ships, and deadly weapons like atom bombs contribute to pollution. Third, industrialization. Industrialization leads to increased pollution. Fourth, urbanization. Urbanization results in more buildings, sewage, drains, vehicles, factories, smoke, dust, and sewage water causing environmental problems. What are the effects of pollution? 1. The pollution affects the survival of the planet, impacting not just humans but all life. It affects supporting systems like air, water, soil, flora, and fauna. The effect of pollutants varies depending on factors like nature of pollutants and how harmful they are to living organisms. Our topic is types of pollution and a detailed section on air pollution. Air pollution is about the imbalance in air quality causing adverse effects on living organisms on Earth. It involves the presence of harmful concentrations of impurities in the air affecting humans, animals, plants, and buildings, etc. Air pollution is defined as the presence of contaminants like fumes, dust, gases, mist, soil, odor, smoke, and vapors in the air that harm human, animal, or plant life. The effects of air pollution are 1. Effects on human health, 2. Effects on vegetation, third. Effects on animals, and effects on materials, and lastly effects on climate. The control measures are use of tall chimneys to reduce local pollution and removal of poisonous gases and also growing plants. Now, water pollution. What is water pollution? Introduction. Water is essential for life on earth. Water occupies 70.7% of Earth's surface, but only 0.03% is fresh water. About 97% of total water is not fresh water, 3% is fresh water. Meaning, water pollution is contamination by foreign matter like microorganisms, chemicals, industrial waste. Definition: water pollution is adding substances like organic, inorganic, or biological that degrade water quality, making it unhealthy or unfit for use. What are the effects of water pollution? The effects of water pollution, the effects depend on the type of pollutants in the water. On water pollution, the pollutants cause physical and chemical changes harmful to aquatic life and humans. Nitrates in drinking water can cause disease in infants, sometimes leading to death. Control measures include proper sewage disposal and treatment, cooling hot water before release from power plants, avoiding excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides. Now, soil pollution. Soil pollution refers to any physical or chemical change in soil conditions that can affect plant growth and is closely connected to water pollution. Two types of pollution are there: negative pollution, positive pollution. Negative pollution, overuse of soil leading to erosion. Positive pollution from pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers. The effects: agricultural practices producing hazardous pollutants in soil, air, and water. Pesticides getting added due to wind erosion or tillage and burning of residues. Various ways agriculture impacts soil quality. Next topic is carbon measures. Eco-friendly farming systems, use of pesticides should be minimized. Materials, cans or paper or glass and some kinds of plastics can be recycled. Proper forest management, afforestation and conservation. Hello, welcome. Environmental law, and we can see noise pollution. What is noise pollution? Noise is undesirable and unwanted sound that stimulates the sense of hearing. Meaning, hearing in humans occurs when vibrations of frequencies reach the inner ear through air. Noise pollution: release of unwanted sound in the atmosphere from sources like traffic, industrial units, aeroplanes, etc. Effects on man: permanent deafness, effects on health, insane headaches, and nausea. Some of the control measures of noise pollution are: respect neighbors' right to silence, tell friends about hazards of noise, Turn down volume of stereos, radios, TVs, etc. Purchase least noisy appliances like air conditioners, vacuum cleaners, etc. Now we will discuss constitutional provisions related to environmental law in India. In India, the constitution does not explicitly mention environment as a fundamental right. However, several provisions relate to environmental protection are there. Article 41A. It directs the state to protect and improve the environment, safeguard forest and wildlife. Article 51A, Clause G. It imposes a duty on citizens to protect and improve the natural environment. What is the importance of these provisions? These constitutional provisions have been interpreted by courts to support environmental protection. Courts have used these articles to promote environmental protection. Also, balance development and environment. There is an emphasis on balancing development with environmental concerns. Key environmental laws in India. Environment Protection Act 1986. It is a umbrella legislation for environmental protection. Next, Water Act 1974. Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. It regulates water pollution. Air Act 1981. Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. It addresses air pollution. Next, Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It protects wildlife and habitats. Next act is Biological Diversity Act 2002. It conserves biodiversity and ensures fair benefit sharing. What are the recent developments? Some recent developments are that the Supreme Court recognized the right to a clean environment against climate change effects as a fundamental right in M.K. Ranjit Singh versus Union of India, April 2024. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change notified the Biodiversity Rules 2024 enhancing powers of the National Biological Diversity Authority. India launched its first national policy on geothermal energy in September 2025. The judgments on environmental law. The Indian judiciary has played a significant role in shaping environmental law through various landmark judgments. Here are some key aspects and notable cases. Right to a wholesome environment. The Supreme Court has recognized the right to a wholesome environment as part of the right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution. The case law is the Charanlal Sahu case. Next, sustainable development. The court has emphasized sustainable development principles, balancing economic development with environmental protection. Case law is Vellore Citizens Welfare Forum case. Some of the other notable cases. M.C. Mehta versus Union of India. In this case, the Supreme Court established the principle of absolute liability for industries engaged in hazardous activities. Next case, Vellore Citizens Welfare Forum versus Union of India. In this judgment, the court recognized sustainable development and the polluter pays principle as part of environmental jurisprudence. Third case, Green Earth Foundation versus Union of India and others. A recent landmark judgment, April 2025, addressing environmental protection, and industrial accountability. What are the recent developments? The recent developments in 2024 are the Supreme Court directed states and union territories to follow the definition of forest as per the Godavar judgment. The court set aside NGT orders imposing penalties on Benjochem Industrial Private Limited. The topics covered in Unit 1 of Environmental Law subject are that basic aspects, environment and pollution, definitions and understanding of environment, pollution types like air, water, noise, etc., sources, industrial, vehicular, etc., and consequences, health impacts, ecological damage. The next topic is significance of environmental law and ancient Indian philosophy, which emphasize on harmony with nature and protection of elements like water, air, and forest in traditional Indian thought. Territory law, jurisdictional aspects, how territorial jurisdiction applies in environmental law, especially in cross border or interstate environmental issues, is the important topic under Unit 1. Next is constitution provisions. These articles relevant to environment like Articles 14 equality before law, Article 15 clause 2 prohibition of discrimination, Article 19 right to practice profession and others impacting environmental governance. The other topic is union list and state list. Division of powers. The constitutional division of powers between union and states regarding environmental governance is also important. The Constitution of India. The Constitution of India has several provisions that directly or indirectly relate to environmental protection. Some key articles include Article 14, ensures equality before the law, which can be linked to environmental justice. Article 21 guarantees the right to life and personal liberty, often interpreted to include the right to a clean environment. Article 48A directs the state to protect and improve the environment and safeguard forest and wildlife. Article 51 capital A small Clause G imposes a fundamental duty on citizens to protect and improve the natural environment. The division of powers between the union and states is also crucial in environmental governance, with subjects like forest, wildlife, and pollution control being part of the concurrent list. Territorial law. The territorial law in environmental law deals with how laws apply across different geographical areas, especially when environmental issues span multiple jurisdictions. In India, territorial jurisdiction plays a role in interstate environmental issues. When pollution or environmental damage affects more than one state, coordination between states and the union government is crucial. Next, cross border issues. Environmental impacts that cross international borders require cooperation with neighboring countries. Third, jurisdictional challenges. Determining which authority, that is state or central, has the power to regulate or address environmental issues in specific territories. In India, Constitution divides powers between the union and states for environmental governance. For example, union government handles matters like international agreements on environment. State governments deal with local environmental issues like municipal waste management, etc. Thanks for watching. We will discuss Unit 2 in next video. Bye bye.